Lucia was now a religious sister at a convent in Tui, Spain. The Blessed Virgin told Sister Lucia that the moment has come in which God asked the Holy Father, in union with all the bishops throughout the world, to consecrate Russia to her Immaculate Heart, promising by this means it shall be saved. Pope Pius XI never consecrated Russia, and on January 25, 1938, the skies of Europe at night were illuminated by an unknown light, as predicted by Our Lady. People in Switzerland at 11 p.m. at night could read their newspapers outdoors. Sister Lucia confirmed that this strange light was the sign given by God that he was about to punish the whole world. World War II began shortly after this great light was seen, and the second part of the secret was fulfilled. The third part of the secret is the continuation of the words, quote, "In Portugal the dogma of faith will always be preserved." Many of the facts concerning the chronology of the message of Fatima were discovered by Fatima researcher Frere Michel. While being in the convent of the Dorothean Sisters in June 1943, Sister Lucia became seriously sick, and while Sister Lucia had written down the first two parts of the secret, she still hadn't written down the third secret. Her physical condition was so serious that Bishop de Silva, the Bishop of Fatima, was very concerned. On September 15, 1943, Bishop de Silva traveled to Spain and asked Sister Lucia to write down the third secret, quote, if she really wanted to. Sister Lucia asked the bishop for a formal written order. In mid-October 1943, Bishop de Silva gave Sister Lucia a formal order to write down the third secret. Sister Lucia, over the next 3 months, would try to write down the third secret. She found herself in a terrible anguish, and each time she tried to write down the third secret, she felt something that was preventing her from writing down the third secret. After 3 months of this crisis, the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared on January 2, 1944, and told Sister Lucia that it was indeed God's will that she write down the third secret. The following day she wrote down the third secret, and it was delivered to Bishop de Silva. Bishop de Silva could have read the third secret at once, but he decided not to because he was scared at the responsibility of having the knowledge of its contents. Sister Lucia made Bishop de Silva promise that, quote, the third secret would be open and read to the world upon her death or in 1960, whatever would happen first, end quote. In 1946, Sister Lucia was asked why it was necessary to wait until 1960, and she responded, quote, because the Blessed Virgin wishes it so, and, quote, it would become clear at that time. The Holy Office at the Vatican demanded the text of the third secret in 1957. Bishop Venancio, Bishop de Silva's auxiliary bishop, pleaded with Bishop de Silva to finally read the third secret. De Silva refused, so Venancio decided to hold the envelope containing the third secret up to the light, and said that the third secret was about 20 to 25 lines long. On April 16, 1957, the third secret arrived in Rome. The evidence seems to indicate that Pope Pius XII was going to wait until 1960 to read the third secret, but ended up dying on October 9, 1958. So the whole world waited in 1960 for the Vatican to release the third secret, and on February 8, 1960, the Vatican announced in a press release that the third secret would not be revealed. The only reason that the Vatican wouldn't release the third secret was because it was embarrassing to the Vatican. Some might ask the question that even if the Vatican said they wouldn't be revealing the third secret to the public in 1960, why didn't Sister Lucia herself tell the whole world what the third secret really was? We will present the evidence that we believe clearly indicates that the real Sister Lucia was killed and was replaced by an impostor Sister Lucia, most likely between 1958 and 1959. If Sister Lucia was replaced by an impostor, wouldn't Sister Lucia's friend Bishop de Silva notice the impostor? Not if Sister Lucia was replaced in 1958 or 1959. Because a few months after the Vatican received the third secret in 1957, Bishop de Silva died. Although Sister Lucia met with people rarely, she met with Father Agustin Fuentes on December 26, 1957. Father Augustin Fuentes was the chief postulator for the causes of Francisco and Jacinta's beatification. This was the reason that Sister Lucia met with him. Father Fuentes, after he spoke to Sister Lucia, went back to his home country of Mexico, and on May 22, 1958, he gave a talk about what Sister Lucia said to him when he visited her. Father Fuentes said that Sister Lucia, when he met her, was, quote, very sad, very pale, and emaciated. Sister Lucia told Father Fuentes, quote, God will chastise the world, and this will be in a terrible manner. The punishment from heaven is imminent. Father, how much time is there before 1960 arrives? It will be very sad for everyone. Not one person will rejoice at all if beforehand the world does not pray and do penance. I am not able to give any other details because it is still a secret. This is the part of the message of Our Lady which will remain secret until 1960. Sister Lucia went on to say, quote, my mission is not to indicate to the world the material punishments which are certain to come if the world does not pray and do penance beforehand. No, my mission is to indicate to everyone the imminent danger we are in of losing our souls for all eternity if we remain obstinate in sin. It is necessary for each one of us to begin to reform himself spiritually. Each person must not only save his own soul, but all the souls that God has placed on our path. The devil is in the mood for engaging in a decisive battle against the Virgin, and a decisive battle is the final battle, where one side will be victorious and the other side will suffer defeat. Hence, from now on we must choose sides. Either we are for God or we are for the devil. There is no other possibility. God is giving two last remedies to the world. These are the Holy Rosary and devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. These are the last two remedies which signify that there will be no others. The Most Holy Virgin in these last times in which we live has given a new efficacy to the recitation of the Rosary, to such an extent that there is no problem, no matter how difficult it is, even of the life of peoples and nations, that we cannot resolve by the prayer of the Holy Rosary. With the Holy Rosary, we will save ourselves, we will sanctify ourselves, we will console our Lord and obtain the salvation of many souls. Finally, devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, our Most Holy Mother, consists in considering her as the seat of mercy, of goodness, and of pardon, and as the certain door by which we are to enter heaven. Sister Lucia told Father Fuentes that the Blessed Virgin Mary made her understand that we are living in the last days of the world. After Father Fuentes' talk in which he related what Sister Lucia had told him, the talk was published in magazines throughout the whole world. About a year later, on July 2, 1959, Sister Lucia's Diocese of Coimbra officially came out and accused Father Fuentes of lying about what Sister Lucia said to him during their interview. They published a letter produced on a typewriter that stated, quote, Father Augustin Fuentes, postulator of the cause of beatification for the seers of Fátima, visited Sister Lucia at the Carmel of Coimbra and spoke to her exclusively about things concerning the process in question. But after returning to Mexico, this priest allowed himself to make sensational declarations of an apocalyptic, eschatological, and prophetic character, which he declares that he heard from Sister Lucia's very lips. Given the gravity of such statements, the Chancery of Coimbra believed its duty to order a rigorous investigation on the authenticity of such news, but also with regard to things reported as having been said by Sister Lucia. The Diocese of Coimbra has decided to publish these words of Sister Lucia, given in answer to questions put by one who has the right to do so. Sister Lucia, quote, Father Fuentes spoke to me in his capacity as postulator for the causes of beatification of the servants of God, Jacinta and Francisco Marto. We spoke solely on things connected with the subject. Therefore, whatever else he refers to is neither exact nor true. I am sorry about it, for I do not understand what good can be done for souls when it is not based on God, who is the truth. I know nothing, and could therefore say nothing about such punishments which are falsely attributed to me. The Chancery of Coimbra is in a position to declare that since up to the present Sister Lucia has said everything she believed it her duty to say about Fátima, she has said nothing new, and consequently has authorized nobody, at least since February 1955, to publish anything new that might be attributed to her on the subject of Fátima, end quote. It was after this letter was published by the Diocese of Coimbra that Father Fuentes was removed as postulator for the beatification causes of Francisco and Jacinta. On March 19, 1961, Father Louis Condor, a priest from the communist country of Hungary, was appointed to take over for Father Fuentes.